guys, Freakshow OW here. Today we've got a VOD review. So I'm going to be VOD reviewing this mid-plat Ashe player. I've got a Reddit thread, the link will be in the description if you guys would like some coaching while I'm not around to play the game. Just quickly, just a little bit about me if you guys don't know me. So I'm currently a 4.2 tank player. I've peaked for 4. I've played in 2 seasons of Open Division, and I've coached players all the way from Bronze to those GMs screaming at 4-5 currently playing Open Division. I'm primarily an off-tank, but I play a lot of DPS as well, and I obviously know enough about support that I feel comfortable talking about it. So we're just going to go straight into this code, which I've already imported. Now, it's a plat Ashe. What I'm expecting is decent mechanics. I'm expecting a somewhat of an understanding of what he's meant to be doing on his character. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for him to be making off angles, to be creating crossfires with his team. I'm interested in the comps they're playing, but I would, for a plat player, I would expect a lot of wasted cooldowns, especially on Ashe. One of the biggest things is coach gun usage. It's something that a lot of Ashe players just waste on cooldown. So we'll probably see a lot of that, and I'll go over that when we see it. Apart from that, let's just get straight into it. So if you guys are new, please like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all of that will be in the description if I remember. So we'll be following him, and I've got to put my thing on 5. Okay. Right. Okay, what we got? We got Hogorissa, Widow Ashe, and Moira. Okay, so actually, just before we start, I'm gonna read out what actual Rick 2223 has said about this VOD. He said, "I'd like you to focus on my Ashe gameplay only because there are short seconds of Reaper and Doom gameplay when I switched out of Tilt. They're good picks in that situation, but I wasn't feeling them at the time as much as I did Ashe, although she was probably a bad pick into the comp they had. I am well aware of a few positioning mistakes or off-angle risks I got punished for, but they could definitely be avoided if I had a Mercy. My fault was a few rare positioning mistakes and bad off-angle peaks and not being able to communicate with my teammates, but everything other than that was out of my control and made this game, like others I have, completely unwinnable." Okay, so that's interesting. So, I guess we'll talk about it. We'll look at your composition first. So what are we playing? We're playing the Hogorissa, which is good tank line, especially for a plat game. Then you've got Ashe Widow, which is okay. It's very sniper heavy, so we're relying on our aim a lot, which it's fine if we can hit shots. That's fine. We can punish these plat players who are going to be coming out from behind their shield. They're going to be peeking off angles, all that kind of thing. And then we're playing Anna Moira. Now, one thing as I start up this VOD review series on my channel that you guys are going to learn very quickly is I hate Moira as a character. I think she is the worst designed character in the game and fails even more than Reaper to do her job. As a comp, what you don't have here is you don't have a main support. Now obviously you would like a Mercy player because you're playing Ashe, and Mercy would probably be the best main support to play in this comp. The Moira doesn't do anything here. Your Anna is, well, not the best flex support for this comp. You ideally want a Baptiste because you have AoE healing and you have a lamp, and a fast charging window, which is extremely good for a poke comp, because that's what this is. This is a poke comp. Moira will, 1, not do as much healing as Bat will. 2, you're likely going to be out of range of her right click most of the time. And 3, she, in a prolonged fight, she will run out of resources. But anyway, that's why I don't like it. You don't like it because you don't have a Mercy. And that's a fair point. The issue is there. Why do you expect your supports to pick around you? If you need a Mercy to pop off, then you shouldn't play Ashe. You need to work on your Ashe. Yep. So you can pick around your supports just as much as they can pick around you. So here you could swap to a Hanzo who doesn't need a Mercy, or a soldier who could do with a Mercy but doesn't particularly benefit that much from it, right? You can pick these heroes that don't rely as much on that pocket, especially in ranked where you're probably not going to get that pocket most of the time. But Ashe is fine here. I like the sentiment of shooting the Moira because Moira players are always your enemy. Okay, let's have a look. So the enemy team are playing a Rein Zarya and a Mercy Ashe Hanzo. Okay, so you're playing a bunker comp, and you're playing more of a pick comp. They're playing kind of more pokey with a brawly front line. Those are some nice shots on that Ashe. Okay, but that coach gun is actually really dangerous. So let's have a look at that. So you hit. This is actually, for a plat player, this is extremely good aim. Jesus, they were really nice. So the second you kill this Ashe, you want to deny the res. That's, I'm assuming, why you coach gun up here. You obviously she drops off high ground. You don't know that. There's no way you can know that, right? So the issue with you jumping like this is you don't know what team comp they have yet. So 20 seconds into the round, when you hit tab, you'll be able to see their entire team comp. You're currently 14 seconds into the round, so you don't know what they're playing. If they have a Widow, an Ashe, obviously you know they have an Ashe, so you've just killed them. If they have a Widow, if they have a Kree, if they have a Soldier, if they have anything kind of like that that can damage you at range, coach gunning into the air is so dangerous, especially here where you do it, because you do it in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, even the Hanzo, you reach Masters and a Hanzo will hit this shot on you. Even some Diamond players will hit this shot on you. And this is something I expect to see more of during the game. As a low-ranked player, that's something that you see a lot in the kind of metal ranks. But I do like the idea of disrupting the res. And obviously you can't see it from where you are, but if you need to, you can just throw a dynamite out there. And then shoot it. If you get a hit marker, you know she's there and rezzing, and you can call for your team, and then you can risk the coach gun to finish the Mercy, rather than wasting the coach gun, putting yourself in a dangerous position, and then potentially the Mercy's not even there, so it wasn't even worth it. You know, you can check with the dynamite first. Okay, so we're pressuring this. We can wait for our shield there. We don't need to cross. That's just risking the Hanzo hitting a shot on you. Obviously your Hog's going out in front, but he has a heal, so if he gets shot, he's just going to heal and gain ult charge from it. But you can be one shot here, so standing here is risky. You can stay around here where you started to begin with. Just shoot the shield, maybe break it a little bit. Then just wait for your Orisa to place a shield down, and then you can come out from behind it and pressure the Hanzo or the Rein. Because he's just taken 3 shots at you. That's the main thing you want to minimise here is taking shots, basically. I'm assuming he had a Sonic down? I've got my sound turned low, so I might not have heard it. I think it was there. Okay, so you're trying to make an off angle, and that's good. You always want to make crossfires. You've got 2 issues with this one though. So first off, it's Sonic'd, and you heard that, but you may not have known where it was. But just generally, if you hear a Sonic and don't know where it is, you probably want to be playing carefully, right? The second point is the reason you take off angles is because you want to create a crossfire, right? So you want to take an off angle on a Rein because you want to shoot past his shield. So he will shield your team. So if you're standing here, your team can be here, and he will shield pointing towards your team. If you're standing where the camera is right now, you can shoot past the shield and hit the Mercy, right? If your team hasn't forced the shield to face them, then you can't do anything. So this off angle is a good off angle, ignoring the fact that it's Sonic'd right now. It's a good off angle. It's just the timing of this kind of pseudo flank isn't good, because your team's not pressuring them at all. Zarya used bubble is just walking away. The Rein can't see anyone else on your team. All you need to do here is take it a second to look at where your tanks are, wait for them to get here, and once they're shooting the Rein shield, the Rein has to turn and look at them, and then you come behind here and you shoot their backline. Obviously, here it may not have mattered, but the other thing is, obviously, even if the Sonic is there, if the Hanzo turns to shoot your front line, you can finish him off as well. So that's the first thing there. I assume that's probably one of the off-angle risks you're talking about. That is a very good off-angle, it's just the timing there needs to be... You need to be using those off-angles when there's pressure on their team, otherwise they will just turn and shoot you. Alright, what we got? So your Widow swapped to Tracer, okay. That's not a bad choice, as Widow's, you know, pretty right here. You can shoot that dynamite. I'm assuming you know that if you shoot dynamite it explodes. So if you... Good dynamite, shoot it there. You shoot it there. You deal damage to the Hanzo, deal damage to the Zarya, deal damage to the Rein. If Rein puts a shield up, it will damage the shield, which is good for your comp because you're spamming him out. And honestly, this Hanzo might even die if you hit this dynamite because you've got two shooting him at the same time. So the other thing on that is Ashe's, in my opinion, Ashe's best ability is that dynamite. It can hit 6 people at once, it does a crap ton of damage and gives you a crap ton of ult charge, and you've got a pretty decent ult. So it's you kind of be wanting to get as much value from each of these as possible. This is fine, just taking shots at them. Your Orisa should have moved up by miles here. That coach gun doesn't do anything. So we want to be using coach gun for pretty much 2 reasons, right? You want to be using it, 1, to get high ground. So if you were to coach gun up here, that would be a valid use of coach gun, but you have to be careful when you do that. You don't want to get caught out. And 2, or actually there's 3 reasons. 2, to evade an ability if it's completely necessary. So maybe a nano blading Genji dashes on you and you coach gun away. And 3, to knock another player away. So if the nano blading Genji comes at you and you coach gun at them, you'll both knock them away and you'll knock yourself away, so you're further away than you would be normally, right? So those are the 2 reasons, and there isn't a reason to do that. I don't know whether you're trying to make sure that the Rein can't cross back to his team, but obviously he's got a shield, so it's not going to affect him even if you do that. You should just carry on taking shots there. Then you get nanoed. Nice shot on the Ashe. Good. That would have been a huge, huge dynamite. Let's just... Now throwing in here, it's fine. Obviously the Rein turns around and that's unlucky, but that does mean the value you get from that dynamite, even though he turns around and blocks it, means that your team is now shooting him, which is good. It puts pressure on their front line, all that good stuff, right? An even better thing is if you, instead of firing it here, fire it here. The best thing the Rein can do in response to that, obviously you'll shoot it when it's directly above them. The best thing the Rein can do about that is turn his shield straight up. Which, 1, means that you and your team can shoot under his shield. 2, he's not going to cover this Zarya from the dynamite, so the dynamite will still hit your Zarya. And potentially it might even get the Hanzo, depending on how he holds his shield, right? So it's just kind of a better way of getting more value, and that's what Overwatch is all about. It's about getting value out of the characters you're playing. Okay, so you saw me pause and go back earlier than kind of anything happened, because obviously I'm a 4-4 player, I have pretty good game sense, right? So the second this tank line turns and looks at you, I knew they were going to chase you down. Here, I know they're going to chase you down. Rein has gone so far from what his previous frontline position was, where he was holding that choke, the tanks are going to run you down. And Rein Zarya will run you down, right? So as soon as you kind of peek behind here, if you... Re-peeking is okay. As soon as you see this Zarya still looking at you, and you hear this Rein walking towards you, you leave. You back up. If you have Coach Gun, which you would have if you hadn't wasted it earlier, you come up here, because Rein Zarya has no vertical mobility. Then you shoot pot shots through here, maybe you catch an Ana, you catch the Mercy, you catch the Hanzo, then you can stay alive. That's, again, another important part of the game, is staying alive. And obviously here, you can still run away. You can still stop. You don't need to. Okay, you got 3 options here. 1, you stand like this, you hold right click, and you scope shoot them, which holding scope slows you down when you're moving, so you're not going to get away from them. They have too much health, you're not going to kill them either, so you are going to die doing that. Option 2, you can turn, look at them, and shoot from the hip, so don't scope in, just use your left click. That won't kill them, it might pressure them off you, and you're not going to be reduced, like, have your movement speed reduced from the scope. So you may get away, or you may attract attention from your Ana. Option 3, obviously we talked about coach gunning up there, but option 3 is you LOS this Zarya. You come closer to this wall, because the Rhine, had you not been scoping, you wouldn't be in his range. So if you can LOS the Zarya, then you're not going to take damage, never mind die, right? So you can probably back up to here by the time Zarya gets there. Obviously this is without shooting at them, so you don't slow down. Zarya's there, and you're right next to your supports. Even if they're not paying attention, this orb would heal you, you know? Yep. Although somehow your dynamite does get 2, which is interesting. Okay, so you guys cap. You're going to go right side. Wasted coach gun. Coach gun is on a 10-second cooldown. That's quite long in a game like Overwatch. You really need to work on not wasting coach gun. We could be taking high ground here. Whether that's using the stairs or coach gunning on top of the turret. Nice try on that dynamite, just try and get a little bit higher so it goes over the shield. Nice shot. I like that. You know you're not going to kill the Rhine, so you coach gun onto high ground to kill their backline. Obviously when they have a Widow or another Ashe or something, you've got to be careful, but most of their team is dead right now, so fine. Nice dynamite. You don't need to drop there. You can... Dropping makes it easier for the Tracer to kill you, right? It might make it easier for you to kill her because she's closer, but it will also make it a lot easier for her to kill you, and in close range, Tracer wins that 1v1, right? What you can do instead is you can drop into here. You're close to her, but you can back off, and she can't see you anymore. So she's not going to kill you, unless she uses 3 blinks to get up here and then sticks you, at which point you haven't reacted fast enough, right? So dropping onto this kind of bridge is a lot better than dropping directly onto the Tracer. It's the end of the fight, obviously you're assuming your support's going to keep you alive, but in a rank like this you can't assume anything, and with a Moira you can't assume anything either. So if you hold this, then you also have to, once the Tracer's dead, you also have control of high ground for when they start respawning, without having to use your coach gun. Or taking time to rotate back up high ground. You already hold this position, which is actually a really strong position. Nice kill. Wasted coach gun again. Didn't need to use it. There was no risk. Okay, that's unlucky. That was the right use of a coach gun though, to try and get high ground. Good bob. Very good bob. Nice coach again. Now you're going to want to be looking for staggers. Good kill. You need to be more aware of that Zen though, because that Zen could have killed you. Coach gun was okay. You're not in immediate risk. You know that none of their team can kill you, so that using that coach gun to try and get an angle on that Tracer was actually okay, but only because you know the rest of their team's dead. Again, just try and lift that TNT over the shield. Your Orissa's shielding is really bad. Once you see a shot fly past you, get back behind the shield. I don't mind you peeking past the shield because the shield should be on this corner, at least. But once you see that first shot come, don't carry on strafing left, because that just gives the Hanzo an opportunity to kill you. And again, we want to reduce that as much as possible. A character like Hanzo in this rank is purely based on luck. You don't want to give him the chance to have that luck. Do you play with sound on? I don't mean this offensively. I mean, like, a lot of people play with music in the background, because you could very, very audibly. If you also, you might not have the setting in sound, Dolby Atmos for headphones. If you check your sound settings on your in game to make sure that's turned on, because it helps you locate by ear where people are. Because you can hear this Tracer is here. In fact, you can see your Ana trying to 1v1 him, but yet you're looking over here to try and find him, you know? When he's down there, you know? You could be helping your Tracer to win this 1v1. He does anyway because he gets nanoed, but let's just see what happened to you though. I'm assuming it was just the shield placement, you know? As you come in, you help him. Good. Okay, okay. Right. Let's think about this real quick. So, we've killed Tracer. We hear our team being shattered behind us. We don't know how many people are shattered, but you know, you've got nano out, so it's probably still winnable. I like the dynamite, but think about this angle. This is a fairly tight angle, right? You know, he can just back off in most directions, and you won't be able to hit him anymore. So if you shoot at him first, you hit him once, and then you fire the TNT, it doesn't matter if you can't see him when the TNT hits. If you explode the TNT and he's around this wall, he still gets hit by it, right? If you use the TNT to finish him off because he has to be in your LOS to shoot him, but doesn't have to be in your LOS to hit him with TNT, right? Then you probably just instantly kill him here. And you don't need to use that coach gun. However, if you do TNT first, if you coach gun instantly, you can kill him. And because of your positioning, you know you're going to survive that coach gun, right? So it might be worth it. But optimally, you wouldn't have to do that anyway because you would have shot before you used TNT. Reset. You're not surviving this. There is a Mercy healing Orion, Hanzo, and Zarya. Jump off here. Honestly. Because you have 200 health. They have a shield, healing, bubbles, and combined, what? That's 500, 900, 1300 HP. Right? If you jump off the map, you don't feed them ult charge. And their tanks both just use ult, so they could, you know, that would help them get it back. If you jump off the map, you save 20% of their tank ults. Because the fight's not winnable at this point. Okay, you're calling for a group up. Your Orisa just fed. Okay, so obviously your Orisa just completely threw, but we're kind of not doing anything here. We're kind of just standing around. At this point, you see your Orisa going left. You should just go with your Orisa. Like, you're playing Ashe Tracer, so now you don't particularly need to have off angles because you are the main DPS that's firing from the core, right? So you just follow your Orisa here, and if you follow your Orisa, maybe potentially she doesn't die. I don't know what she dies to. a Hanzo, which she would have shielded. But yeah, so she's dead. So you should have gone with your Orisa. She may have done anyway, but then you could just back out yourself. So then you peek the Zen, which is fine, I guess. But then here, you turn around, and we're just going to stand in here. We're not doing anything. Obviously, you don't want to go in there because your team's dying. There's a fight in there. But if there's a fight in there, you can safely peek around here and just fire shots in the team. Just build up your ult. Build up your ult, get picks, force out cooldowns, force out resources. You know, like, say you get a pick and they res it. That's res out for the next fight. You know, that's huge. That's like you're playing 6v6 instead of 6v7. Just, you're not doing a lot here, right? Again, all this time, coach gun, unnecessary. It's almost like, honestly, unbinding shift, the same thing they tell to the Rhine players. If you unbind shift, you'll just get used to having to move on Ashe rather than using coach gun all the time. That's a good coach gun because you're discorded and can't walk across. That's a bad coach gun. If you're gonna coach, if you're clearly stuck out here and you think you're gonna die because there's a Hanzo spamming at you, don't coach backwards because they can still see you. Coach left. Coach left, and they have to peek wider to hit you, which is more risky to them, right? Does that make sense? Because obviously, if I'm Hanzo and I'm standing here, I can still see you where you end up. You end up like here. You start here, you end up here. I can still see you, I can still shoot you, I can still kill you. But if you're here and you coach gun here, just behind this pillar, I have to peek out like this, and now I can see the hog, right? And the hog can hook me. I mean, maybe not, maybe he's too far away, but he can walk forward and hook me. He can catch me before I get back. You know? That's what you gotta be thinking about. Okay, so we're going to be peeking main again here, but that's it. Good job helping you out. Good coach. You could even coach up here, and this might give you an easier TNT, but this is good. Nice shots. Nice shots. Ooh, clean. It's pretty good, Bob. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. One thing I will say is how do I say this? So by watching your play, I can tell you're about kind of high plat, low diamond, right? But you do look very good for a high plat, low diamond. So you have a very high APM, which is actions per minute, and it's generally how I can tell a good player from a bad one. There are plat players who just don't do as much in the time you have, right? But your APM's pretty good, and it makes you look a lot better than potentially you might be, because it gives you a lot more damage output or damage per second, or, you know, it helps a lot, right? But there are these like mechanical things you need to work on, mainly as I say, timing and coach gun usage. Although you did kind of roll that attack, so it's hard to point out everything. Although I think you just said this was a loss, so it's interesting. This position is good, it's pretty safe. You want to be looking to coach gun their monkey off of your backline when the monkey dives. That was good TNT, but you can get more value. When you peek, you see the Ana. You see the Ana, you'll see the Korean the Moira, but rather. So if you fire the TNT slightly behind the Sigma, it can catch these two as well. Again, it's just constantly having your bob up, being able to contest point. If a tank dies, you can bob point. It's like you have another tank again. Bob is such a powerful ult, you need to play for it all the time. And TNT lets you do that so easily. You're watching for the monkey dies, coach gun that. Nice. Potentially waiting a little longer, because he dives weirdly vertically. It's kind of odd how high he jumps. And obviously your coach gun doesn't actually knock him high around. But it does disrupt him enough, and you can hit your shots on him, so it's fine, it's fine. So I would have made a different decision here. Monkey dives you and you know your Anna's there. The monkey right now is looking at you, but 5 seconds ago he wasn't. So when you turn around, he's staring at your Anna. If I were you, I would walk to your Anna. Because your Anna can't heal your team. If your Anna dies, or if your Anna is zoned out for long enough, your team will lose, right? Your team will die, they'll get poked down, they'll die. You've seen this monkey is at like half health. You can run through this bubble, shooting him, and then come to your Anna, shoot him more, and he will die. Unless he has primal, which he obviously doesn't because this is his first fight, you're not gonna die here. You're gonna survive this. And you're half health, which I assume is why you didn't do it. But if you go through the bubble, your Anna can heal you, right? Instead of what we end up doing, which is kind of walking in a circle, staring at these guys, then realizing Monkey's now chasing us because he's zoned off our supports. And then there, do you die here? I assume, yes. You could have survived again though, if you hit Coach Gun on him. So he jumps. If this Coach Gun, I went back too far, my bad. It's because you kind of flick it. So this is just about track, flick aim, whatever you want to call it. If this Coach Gun is on him, it knocks him back so far that he can't hit you. And then you can just walk away and potentially get to your Anna. Although she's rotating around, but it doesn't matter because you're too low health. So like, these are all kind of mistakes that you can fix. It's if you fix these mistakes, you'll instantly climb into diamonds. Like your mechanics, your aim, I mean, is easily good enough for it. Is this your main account, by the way? Dynamite that. Ashe, your triggers for using dynamite want to be a group of enemies. That is a group of enemies. And 2 of them can't escape the damage, right? Moira can fade out of it. Sigma can't because his shield's down, and Genji might even die to it, right? If you hit a shot on him. You just got to be thinking about how... The way you use Coach Gun, because you use Coach Gun so liberally and you use TNT so conservatively. If you swap them around, you'll instantly hit diamond. Like if you TNT every time you see an opportunity to hit more than one person with the TNT, and if you Coach Gun only when you need to escape, get high ground, or knock someone away, then you will gain rank so quickly. This is an interesting decision. I'm actually kind of interested into what you were thinking about here. So let me just go back 5 seconds just so I can see when that crew was slept. Okay, so you jumped before the crew slept. Okay, so you hear high noon, you jump down, but you jump down into the front of all of their team. This is so risky. I'm actually amazed that you don't die here. Their Sigma can hit a rock, even one shot would... actually no, he'd have to hit 2 or 1 and then like AoE damage you. But anything happens here and you die. Again, if you, instead of jumping directly down here, obviously, I mean, this is better, but still not ideal because you can still get poked by that Sigma. If you drop here and then here... Actually, I'm just trying to think of what's the best idea, because obviously you're playing... Your Anna really should be up here, and you should be holding up here. You should have an Orisa sat here, your Hog should be kind of holding here. You know, actually, okay. If you're gonna drop, obviously you're playing Moira, so that kind of restricts how well the team can play the game. I hate that character. If you're playing here, you drop here, right? You drop here because 1, that's close to your team. 2, you're not in the middle of the enemy front line, which you are when you drop like here, right? And 3, you didn't know this crew was getting slept. So if you drop here, you're a lot closer to the wall so you can avoid it. Yeah? It's just, you got to be aware of stuff like this, yeah? Not putting yourself in danger. Okay, then you get nanoed. Lamppost exists, unlucky. we're kind of frontlining. I'm not sure how much I like that. Obviously on Nano, you got damage resistance, and that's unlucky. Again, if you threw it through that gap, you could have hit both of them. And also, I would have prioritised the McCree, because the Sigma's a full health tank. The McCree is slept and half health. You could just kill him, and that's one person out of the fight, right? Obviously, once he gets healing, focus on the Sigma. Okay, at this point, I would come here, coach gun, back up here. Take this angle. Force this Anna to walk all the way back. Force her out. And then maybe your tanks can push these two here, right? Because currently the Anna's trying to pressure your front line from going in this room, which is interesting. But yeah, standing here is really bad, because if this Genji is any other DPS, he comes around the corner and he kills you. Yeah. So yeah, you don't want to be in front of your team, basically. You don't want to be in front of your team, and if you are, you want to be on high ground at a slight off angle, which is what this is. And obviously you take a sleep to the face because of that. And if the Genji was a good player, he'd dash on you. That's a good dynamite. That's a really bad coach gun. It's almost like you've noticed that you're frontlining, and you're trying to stop frontlining, but once again, it doesn't matter how close you are to the enemy team if they're playing ranged characters, right? They've got a McCree. Yeah? They've got a Nana. You're coach gunning directly backwards again. Yeah? You just come up to this high ground. And you can back off. You know? Leave. Stop standing here. You have the opportunity to just walk right. Because you'll get caught out. The monkey will jump behind you and bubble off your supports. Really needs to prioritise high ground here. That's a good TNT. That was fine, but it would have been so much better if you were on high ground doing that. No, you're gonna die. Yeah, okay. So, you're trying to get staggers. Okay, getting staggers is the correct thing to do as a team. If your team cannot get staggers, you do not do it. What the hell? Why is that so small? Before you try this, just turn around and look where your team are. Your tanks and your Anna are nowhere near you. Your Kree... I mean, this Kree is still here. And they're trying to fight, right? So they're not going to help you. If you push here, and you see this Kree and the Genji, you fire a TNT to get value, and you get the hell out of here. Right? Because, again, your team is nowhere near you. They can't help you. The Genji can dash on you. And I believe... Do you have Coach Gun? And you... Wait. I think you just... Yeah, and you just wasted Coach Gun. Right? And the Kree can roll and flash you. So you throw... You shoot first, then you dynamite. Not ideal, because the Kree's going to turn around and they could... Or they could both turn around. The Kree could headshot you, the Genji could hit a shuriken, and you're dead. Right? So I would just throw the TNT. And then you do not re-peek. You strafe left here, which is such a throw. And you leave, now. You back off, probably this way, just because you know there's no one here. You could go this way if you think the Kree can't get to you in time, or you could go via the health pack or whatever. In fact, you probably want to go via the health pack and then out this way, because it's safer. But this re-peek is really bad, because he just killed you. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they snowball off of as well, because your team's gone back to cover you and use their abilities, and now your monkey doesn't have a bubble. Yeah, your monkey dies. Yep, that's all because you picked that. That's unlucky. And then your team falls apart. Good coach. I'm going to say that even when it's completely unnecessary. And the shots, unlucky. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. Yep. So let's have a look at that again. So your team's down 2, right? Down 3. You come up here when your team's down 3. You're down 4 now. You want to be sitting here. In fact, actually, I take it back. That wasn't a good coach because there's a staircase right next to you. Use the staircase. You want to have coach here because you're not playing to fight. Because you've lost. You're down 4, right? Down 3, however many it is. You're playing to poke them. You want to do a little bit of damage, maybe force out an ability, and you want to get ult charge, right? So you want to play. You want to shoot when you can, but you want to stay alive. That is your main priority: staying alive. You don't care if you don't get any damage, hit any shots. You just want to stay alive. So you want coach gun up in case this monkey dives you. Yeah. So it's fine being up here. I would have used the stairs though. You see this monkey come? He's out of leap, out of ult. He has leap. Coming out of ult resets your leap charge. If you don't know that, then you need to look at the characters in the game more and understand their abilities and how they work. He can dive you. And then Moira has faded on you. The second this Moira comes at you, you coach gun and leave. Or you at least sit here where nobody can see you and get healing from your team. Yeah? Because you just die and it wastes more time. And they've snowballed 2 fights now because you peaked that angle. Now coach gun's not great, but you do need to get back to the fight quickly. So I don't hate it. Okay, so we clearly have lost the fight. We're not stalling this point. There's no way in hell we're stalling this point. You're down both your tanks, and the Genji is in Nano Blade. You're not reaching the point before that Moira dies. You just leave now. At this point now, you leave. Your Ana's already given up. Your Ana's already backing off. Your Ana's doing the right thing. Although she should be backing off this way, but you just need to leave. Go this way, through here, get out, and really hope. When you get to here, be careful because they will probably be standing here trying to kill you. Right? Pushing up for staggers. That's how this map is optimally played. These shots are just guaranteeing your death. Especially staying here now. And you've also kind of baited your Ana into staying with you, so you've got her killed too. Because your Ana just wants to keep you alive. Yeah. If you don't die here, it's a miracle. Yeah, okay. A better team would have killed you instantly as well. So now look how much cart they gained. They were here when you peaked that Genji Kree, right? Okay, now your Moira's turned a 5v6 into a 5v5. 5v4. Your Moira popped. Your Moira is actually correct. Nice shot. You can dynamite that earlier. The Genji went back. The Genji is naturally going to back off when his deflect starts running low, right? Throw it above the shield. Good coach gun. Very good coach gun. You have Bob here. Yep. And that's another example of using coach guns straight up when they can just kill you if you do that. So, did you drop off high ground? It looked like you did. Yeah, so you saw the monkey come up and assumed that he was on you. If you just watched the monkey, you could have stayed up there and crouched back, and or coach gun directly backwards, and you would have been fine. As you're up here, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, the best chance you have is probably coach gunning directly towards your supports. But you're probably not going to survive anyway, to be fair. So it's just being aware of what that monkey's actually doing. And not jumping directly up. Wow, your bob's popping off.
Let's clean up this mess.
Okay, Okay, so this is a Doomfist, but I assume you stay Doomfist for the rest of this month. And Doom here. Doom. Doom. Reaper. Do you stay Reaper all the time? Oh, we're back on Ashe, okay. Oh, look at this as well. I'm here. Minute left. We have a Mercy, but the Mercy's going to be pocketing Farah, so we shouldn't expect to get anything from that. Okay, just pressuring out. Coach gun. TNT up! Again, you just need to get over the shield. There's just so much value if you get over the shield. There's 4 of them there. That coach gun's fine because you're going to get it back before you're back in the fight. Just by the way, so you understand. See, you've already got it back and now you can see them. There's no point taking shots from this. Ashe has fall off damage. You're not going to do any damage if you hit them. Just be careful of this hog. Yep, good. 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 Yeah, okay. That was okay. You just kind of weren't aware that the rhyme was next to you. That's just game sense that'll come as you play.
Nothing wrong with a little self-improvement.
Is that it? Okay. Okay, so the main things there, as I said a million times, coach gun usage. You use it for 3 reasons. I'm just going to summarise quickly. So you use it for 3 reasons. To get high ground, or to get positioning, to escape someone, or to push someone away, right? Those are the 3 uses. Second point, dynamite uses. You want to be throwing out overshields to clumps of enemies anytime you can, right? You want to build ult charge with it. Then you've got your kind of peaking. You want to peak when you know you can get value. You want to evaluate the risk of doing so. And I also overall want you to understand 2 concepts. I want you to understand that yes, a Mercy would have increased your performance, undeniably. You would have done more damage with shots, you would have probably killed more people, you would have dealt more damage with TNT. But in the way that in the same way that they are refusing to play Mercy for you, you're refusing to play a Hanzo, for example, for them, right? So, you just got to think about that too. Obviously, if you want to improve at Ashe, you got to play Ashe. If you want to actually win games, swapping off of Ashe might help, right? Although I don't have any problem with you playing Ashe there. I'm just saying, obviously, because you said in the message that you wanted a Mercy. And the second point was obviously, just understanding kind of... But it's mainly the concept of line of sight. Using Coach Gun, using these abilities that you have, I'm sure you do it on other heroes as well, to physically get away. Like you use it too much to physically get away from people, rather than thinking I need to get out of line of sight of people, right? Because it doesn't matter how far away you are from a Hanzo, they can still one-shot you. Yep. Same with a Widowmaker, an Ashe to an extent, a McCree to an extent, a Soldier to an extent, Torb even doesn't have fall-off damage. You need to see the characters you're trying to escape from and then accordingly react. If it's a hog, you can just Coach Gun directly backwards away from him because he has a range on his hook and his gun doesn't do any damage from far away. Right? If it's a Hanzo, you need to move sideways, get cover, that kind of thing, right? I hope this has helped you. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment or you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Freakshow _OW and send me a DM or something and I will reply. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and I'm going to be trying to do a few more of these. I've got a load of comments on my Reddit post. I'll be doing. I think Sampai left a comment, so I think I'll be doing Sampai next. He's an old duo partner of mine who's now washed. Okay, yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.